Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And we have a special guest today from the Codos Mojo. We got Patrick Codo. Why don't you introduce yourself, bud?
Well, thank you very much, Ian, for having me on. Yes, everyone, my name is Patrick Codo. I'm the host of the sports podcast, Codos Mojo. I want to give you all a quick fun fact. This podcast did not start up in Naperville. It actually started down at Southern Illinois University, and I figured I was only going to be there for 4 years, and why not continue the tradition? And hate to brag, but I got a pretty good sports podcast, and you boys know it.
That's right. It's probably
agree.
the best sports podcast around here.
As an avid Chicago sports fan, Patrick does a great job with his show. Always a lot of fun when we get to come on and talk sports with you too. So any of our listeners or sports fans, especially in the Chicagoland area, definitely check out Codos Mojo. You will not be disappointed. And he gets some really cool guests from time to time too.
Yeah.
Oh yes. One of the upcoming guests, and it's not this show, but it's for an upcoming show, is that's if he doesn't forget, will be Craig James from the Philadelphia Eagles, a former Southern Illinois Saluki.
Nice.
All right. Very cool,
man. That's awesome.
And speaking of cool guests, you guys should check it out because I'm not going to tell all you listeners of who those guests were because you got to go listen in to check it out. You'll like the names.
That's right.
All right,
guys. Yep. No, go for it. No.
We're on every platform: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify. You basically name the platform, we're there. And you can also check out the website at patrickcodo.com.
All right. Thanks a lot, Patrick. All right, guys. So let's get into our Diecast of the week. Patrick, I know you don't have a 124, but what you got for us today, bud?
All right. Well, I got the 164 of Chase Elliott, my new favorite driver, because obviously I used to watch NASCAR a lot back in the days when Jeff Gordon was racing. But thanks to you guys getting me back into it, I figured why not choose Chase Elliott as my favorite, the son of NASCAR Hall of Famer Bill Elliott.
Awesome. Bill from Dawsonville. Love it. And Patrick's a cool story because, with everything going on in the world right now, we're starting to see an influx of mainstream media with NASCAR. So obviously I know you started watching before that, Patrick, but he can also be a pretty good example of, hey, new fans are coming to the sport, guys. Gotta love that.
Exactly.
That's right.
And we just got a new fan too, Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints.
We did.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
Loved his coverage all week. I heard he's already talking about coming back to Talladega too.
Yeah. He stayed through the rain and lightning delays yesterday throughout the whole Cup race, and it sounds like he enjoyed himself there.
Yeah, that's what I tweeted out. It sounded like he genuinely was interested in the sport, really had a lot of fun, and really looking to not just make that like a PR stunt as much as like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. I like it a lot. So that's what I really like to see about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, for my diecast of the week, we're going to Talladega. As you guys know, that is the playground of the Earnhardts. So, what better way to bring this in than with a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Talladega race win diecast?
Very nice.
Love it.
Is king of Talladega. Them Earnhardts at Talladega is like nothing else, man. It is ridiculous. What, Junior won, was that 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row?
4.
Yep.
Incredible.
And then what do you get fined for that ain't Daddy's got 7 or whatever it was. That was hilarious.
Hey, watch your language, man.
Got 7 or whatever it was. That was hilarious.
Yep.
Kind of wish that's where Junior was running instead of Homestead, but I definitely understand staying away from the restrictor plate tracks too with his health stuff.
I don't think we'll ever see that man run on a restrictor plate again.
Probably not.
Unfortunately, but hey, it's still good to see him racing.
Absolutely.
All right. So since we are going to Talladega this week, this is not the actual Talladega car, but it was a Talladega sponsor, Trevor Bain's 2017 Liberty National Ford. I really do dig this scheme, but his Talladega scheme was the pink and the gray and the lime green. I actually have the door panel off of that race car sitting in my dad's basement right now, I believe. Just a really that day was awesome. Trevor finished third in that race. Man, I miss him in the car, especially when we came to these restrictor plates, because boy was he good there.
Yeah, that was definitely a really fun day to be a Trevor Bain fan. as you know, Nick, we didn't have a whole lot of those. So when we had a cool day like that,
third place was a win for us.
Had to enjoy that.
Pretty memorable.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. All right, boys. So for my diecast of the week, since we're going to Talladega Super Speedway, I had to bust out Kurt Busch's 2013 Wonder Bread car when he was with Furniture Row. He ran this in the fall race in 2013 at Talladega. He started 30th and finished 13th, so a decent run for the Furniture Row team when they were just getting their start. But yeah, I love this Ricky Bobby inspired paint scheme. It's just absolutely beautiful. And we all know Kurt Busch's favorite movie is Talladega Nights. He quotes that movie all the time when he's racing, especially at Talladega. So I had to bust out this beauty. My fiance got this for me for Christmas about like 4 years ago or so.
I was going to say, where did you get that thing, man? Because I was looking the other day for those cars. It's like $250 right now. So you got yourself a gem right there for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. She got this for like under $100 too, like signed. Like
I was gonna say, not just the diecast, but with the auto on there too. You gotta love that. That's mint, man.
Yeah, right. So pretty cool, rare diecast from Kurt Busch.
Yeah, holy crap.
All right, guys. So let's get into our race review. First off, we had the Hooters 250 with the Xfinity Series. We had Harrison Burton winning the pole from a random drawing. That's what we've been doing since we haven't had any practice or qualifying since we got back from the pandemic break. And right away, before we even start the race, we have Chase Briscoe. He has a weight fall off the car, just like what happened to Denny Hamlin a week or two ago. So he loses his car chief, crew chief, engineer. I believe there's someone else that works for him that is gone for 4 races as well, but he loses a lot of key guys. But went 7 laps down, but honestly, it didn't affect him for the next race. But we'll get into that later.
So honestly, that was probably one of the most impressive feats, though. Coming back from 7 laps down to finish on the lead lap to begin with is absolutely ridiculous. But something that was brought up, I think Corey LaJoy brought up on his podcast when it happened to Denny Hamlin. When all the tungsten falls out of your race car like that, how are you still allowed to race unless they know you come back to your minimum weight? Because he's probably running out there, if a bunch of tungsten falls out, a couple hundred laps lighter, or a couple 100 pounds or so even lighter than some other people. At the very least, at least about 100 if 2 pieces fall out or so. So that's a little questionable, but at the same time, coming back from 7 laps down, absolutely incredible feat. Chase Briscoe is an absolute wheelman, and this is just another example of that.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that coming back from 7 laps down. Like, that was absolutely incredible.
And this is like the first time. This is like the second time this year. Like before this year, I had no idea what a tungsten was. To be honest with you guys, like I had no idea
what one is.
Yeah, what an absolutely incredible drive from Chase Briscoe. The dude is just championship caliber, and a day like that really proved it for him.
All right, so we get Noah Gregson. He immediately takes the lead on lap 1. I mean, he just took off. This is his track. He has tested here the most out of any driver. And then somehow we're getting Ryan Sieg going on to win stage 1. He had a good race here on Saturday and yesterday. And then we get Noah Gregson going on to win stage 2. And guys, craziness. We had 7 to go in the race. Noah Gregson's got a 13-second lead in front of Dale Jr., who's in second place. NASCAR calls a caution for Ryan Sieg getting loose, spinning onto the apron, going over the grass. I don't really know if they needed to call that a caution because I didn't really see any debris.
I could hear Ian shouting the F word all the way from Mariano's in Lombard when that caution came out.
Yeah. Safe to say we know the Junior Motorsports cars did not fire off well. Once they got up to speed and got running, got a little heat in the tires, they were really fast. But those first couple laps, they usually lost a lot of positions on the racetrack and made them up as they kind of went into the longer runs. So you knew a short sprint like this was a death sentence for Noah Gregson. So I felt it for you, buddy. I was watching that, and I just turned. I was like, oh man, Ian's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
They're like, stay away from Ian.
Yeah, and it didn't work out for him on the restart. He went up too high. He kind of got away from the lane that he was working with Dale Jr., kind of raced the 20 too hard and the 20 and the 22 just took off, and they raced for the lead, and then Harrison Burton goes on to win the race. Briscoe, he came back to finish 7th, and Dale Jr. finishes 5th. I mean, Dale Jr. had one
for that rookie driver in the 8 car. Hope to see a lot more out of him.
Real promising future out of that kid. Hopefully we see him up in the big series one day.
Well, you want to talk about a stealing of a win. Holy crap, Harrison Burton from center field right there. If you would have told me when we did the preview show for Homestead last week that Harrison Burton would have won this thing, I would have thought you were crazy. But good for the kid. Continues to prove me wrong week in and week out from what I said about him last year.
Yep. Hey, right place, right time for him on Saturday.
And I will add this, Ian, it could be worse. Austin Cindric could have won.
That would have been a lot worse. But I'm happy Noah's already got 2 wins, so that one didn't hurt as much as Sunday, but we'll get into that.
Oh, God.
So let's get into the Baptist Health 200, the truck race on Saturday night. We had Austin Hill winning the pole from a random drawing, and Kyle Busch, he had to come down pit road to serve a drive-through penalty after issues failing tech a couple times. So terrible way to start the race, but hey, it just makes it interesting.
What is with Kyle Busch in general? Like, that's not the first time he's done that.
No,
Yeah, he's had like a really weird string of like just awkward stuff like that happening to him in the truck series. But, Nick, you've said it in weeks past, and I'm going to reiterate it again. I feel like sometimes he just does it for fun. It's like, okay, this is too easy. Might as well go to the back and start over again.
That's some Chick Hicks type stuff.
Yeah, right?
Yep. And then we got 11 to go in stage 1. We get Zane Smith getting loose into Chase Elliott and Brett Moffitt, ending Moffitt's day. Just a terrible way to end the race there. But we get Mr. Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain. He goes on to win stage 1. And then we get Kyle Busch going on to win stage 2. And then we get, of course. Yep. Kyle Busch, the truck racing god. And then we get 28 to go in the race, and we have Sheldon Creed missing pit road, smashes into the sand barrels, and brings out the red flag. What are you doing, man? Like,
that was absolutely wild to see. Now I realize Homestead probably has one of the more treacherous pit roads to make, because you have to run most of the time. You're running that high line, and then you have to try to come down, and traffic is on a couple different lanes in the track, and it's just kind of an awkward one to get onto clean under green flag anyway. But oh my God, did he get that one wrong? Like, not just a little bit, like missed the commitment box.
I thought I was watching the ARCA series for a sec. I thought I was watching the ARCA series for a second when I saw that movie.
I'd be surprised to see that even in the ARCA series. Like, that's how crazy a miscalculation it was.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that in quite a few years for someone to just head-on smash into the sand barrels.
Yeah, just a full send. That was wild.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm bored. Kyle Busch is going to win. Might as well send.
And then I don't know if you guys saw Noah Gregson's Instagram story, but he made a little poem for Sheldon Creed today. I think you guys need to check that out if you haven't. He was hanging. Yeah, after the show, go check out Noah's Instagram story. He's hanging out with Sheldon. He wrote him a little poem about the little incident. It's pretty great.
Oh,
yeah. And then we got 12 to go. Jordan Anderson brings the caution out, hitting the wall hard. Just tough race for him, Yeah,
he can't really afford to have that kind of stuff happen with him being such a small team and him having to build those trucks pretty much by himself. Yeah, Jordan's had some bad luck pretty much ever since that stellar Daytona run. Hate to see it.
Yeah, especially with like you said, a guy that builds his own trucks, and it just sucks to see for him like that, because that's a lot of money for him to lose.
All right.
But we get Kyle Busch. He goes on to win the Baptist Health 200 at Homestead. And
surprise.
Yeah, but guys, that was an entertaining race either way. We had Chase Elliott in the race. Just a lot of good battling going on, but I don't think anyone can beat Kyle Busch when he is just on his stride. When he just doesn't have any issues, he's gone.
Honestly, as you guys know, I didn't get to watch much of the truck race. I had some stuff going on, had some friends over and some things going on. But I did go back and watch the highlights, and man, I missed a barn burner with a lot of that stuff. There was a little bit of everything going on, but then you just cap it off with a rowdy win. So I'm sure social media was up in arms once again. That dude's out there taking wins away from the young kids once again.
Hey, he's the best at it. How many more races does he have left in the truck series? I feel like every single truck race that man has been in.
I feel like he really end-load his season. He's only got to have maybe 1 or 2 left, I'd have to guess.
Yeah, because it's a total of 5 for the truck series for full-time Cup guys.
And I feel like he's ran 3 or 4 here within the last 2 months.
He's ran every truck race since they've been back, so.
I think everyone but one, I want to say.
Yeah, something like that. I think his last one is Texas. I think that's what it is, because something with the sponsor, I think his last one's going to be running in Texas, so let's get there and let's get on with the truck season, man.
Let's hope we see a rowdy victory at Texas for Dalton.
You won't even be happy.
Yeah. All right, guys, so let's get into the Contender Boats 250. It was the Xfinity race on Sunday afternoon. So we had Myatt Snyder winning the pole from the field inversion from Saturday's race. And right away, we got trouble for Cesar Barsala and Tommy Joe Martins as they collide on the backstretch. They both receive damage and kind of take themselves out of the race. And guys, just bad luck for Tommy Joe Martins. I feel like we've been talking about him every week now since we got back.
It's the weekly Tommy Joe Martins wreck update is what it is.
Yeah, sucks for him with that small team.
Yeah, honestly, just say it ain't so, Tommy Joe. It's like every time we turn around, we're talking about, like you guys are saying, and another one, smaller team can't really afford to be wrecking race cars week in and week out. And he's on a really bad run of it here.
Right.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder if the funding's kind of running out for them now with all this crap going on,
Oh, yeah.
I hope not, because that's a really good guy, really good driver right there. Drives the hell out of that equipment.
Absolutely.
Yep. And guys, we get Ryan Sieg going on to win stage 1 again with this race. He pitted early. He kind of took the Cindric style from last week, pitting early, kind of getting rid of that fresh pair of tires at the end of the race. But worked out for him. That small team needs as many points as they can get. And then we get Noah Gregson. He goes on to win stage 2.
And are we about to get a carbon copy of the last race? Who knows?
You know what? We got Sieg winning stage 1, Gregson winning stage 2, basically the same results, and we got 2 to go in the race. Gregson's leading it. He was already kind of holding off Chase Briscoe there. He kind of got away with Briscoe getting into the wall right before he's about to cross the line for 1 to go. Caution comes out for Austin Cindric with a flat tire, trying to get down on the apron, trying to get down pit road. I don't know what the hell this guy was thinking. Everyone else was able to get down pit road just fine with a flat, and somehow this guy gets all squirrely on the apron and goes up the track and hits the wall at like 10 miles per hour. So I'm just baffled that Noah Gregson had 2 races in a row just taken away from him the same exact way, just complete BS.
It's like everybody got a flat tire.
That's Homestead.
Yeah, Homestead's a tough track with that stuff. And Ian, I am surprised you are not reading off the rundown of this race with tears running down your eyes. And then Noah Gregson was gonna win again.
My tear ducts are dry from yesterday, man.
Well,
I can't cry anymore.
That's tough to have it happen to you twice the same exact way. Holy cow. Noah Gregson should have 4 wins right now if we're really thinking about it here. Man, he's just got to keep his head held up high, man, because clearly he's got speed this season, so he's going to be just fine.
I mean, he dominated both of those races, and just to have it ripped away from you like that, that was just the most soul-crushing thing I have ever watched on television, ever since the Blackhawks got swept by the Predators.
Talk about
just
that.
giving this man, Dalton Good, our buddy, all the firepower in the world right now. But yeah, Ian, I felt for you, buddy. When I saw that, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But Nick, I don't know if I'd have such a big old grin on my face if I were you, because Mr. Bad Luck came and got you next.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, that's about right. So we're going into NASCAR overtime. Mr. Riley Herbst brings out the caution, getting spun by Allmendinger. He was kind of racing a little too hard there, took himself out, gets spun, takes out the 8 of Hamrick and the 1 of Michael Annette. Just the story of Daniel Hamrick's career. Just
Hold
kidding.
on.
All right, I'm going to let the man.
Nick, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. It's terrible, Herbst. What the hell do you expect, man? This kid, week in and week out, just proves to me that he cannot be in a race car. And of course, it had to be Daniel Hamrick. Daniel Hamrick, though, kind of did this to himself when he missed pit road on the final pit stop of the race. He had to pit a lap later, and he lost 5 seconds on the racetrack. So he kind of put himself in that position back there. And even on the final restart, he let Herbst get below him. He had to get down there and block that right away because Daniel Hamrick was the best car on the bottom all day long. He was the only one who was able to make passes down there. It just really sucks to see because he had such good runs going these past 4 weeks or past 4 races that he's been in since we came back from the pandemic and everything. And just to have it kind of end here on a sour note really does suck because he was poised for another top 5, and now he's not back in the car until Pocono. At the end of freaking July. Well, when is Pocono? I don't even know when Pocono is. Pocono at the end of July or is it? I think it's end of June. So we got a couple weeks off, but man, that just really sucks. But if he was gonna get taken out by anybody, of course it was gonna be Riley Herbst. Dude just can't drive a race car.
June 28th, so you got to wait 2 weeks. So it's not too bad.
That's not so
June
bad.
27th and 28th.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's for Cup.
Weekend.
Yeah.
But I will say I missed me a good Nick rant. It's been a while since he's gone nuts on one.
Man, of course it had to happen.
has.
Of course it was going to happen. You know, I wasn't even mad. I didn't even like yell when it happened. I just kind of sat there, shook my head, and I was just like, of course. Like, I'm just used to it at this point. Daniel Hamrick has the worst luck I've ever seen, and I don't know what it's going to take for him to finally get it done because I just don't know anymore. It sucks, but it's Riley Herbst, so what do you really expect out of him?
Yeah, I was about to say, what do you expect of the kid? I mean, there's a reason why they call him Terrible Herbst. But let's get into Chase Briscoe winning his 3rd race this season. This kid is on a roll. He is fast. He was the fastest guy right next to Noah Gregson. So if it wasn't him, it had to be Briscoe. This kid's on a roll, and who knows, he might be making his name for possibly taking the 14 or the 10 next year. Who knows?
He is definitely standing out as, a level above just about everybody in the field out of the Xfinity regulars. The only one I would say has kind of even been in his stratosphere for a lot of the year is Noah Gregson. So yeah, if there's anybody that you look at this Xfinity field of regulars that could potentially move up into the Cup Series next year, it's a no-brainer as to who the most ready is. So I think it's just a matter of which ride, really.
Yeah, I mean, the dude said he feels like he needs to win 10 races to move up. But what he's doing right now, he could very well win 10 races this season the way he's been driving. But yeah. I look forward to this kid in the future. Who knows what's going to happen with him.
Don't sleep on the Melon Man.
Don't sleep on the Melon Man either. All right, so let's get into the Dixie Vodka 400. It was the Cup race at Homestead, Miami Speedway. We had Denny Hamlin winning the pole from a random drawing, and we had a caution on lap 21 for Newman getting a flat tire and spinning onto the apron. Guys, just a story of the weekend. Flat tires, flat tires, flat tires. That's the way Homestead treats his cars.
So was this called
Florida weather?
The Dixie Vodka 400 or the Lightning Delay 400?
Yes.
Man, it was a long day yesterday with that freaking light, with those damn lightning delays. Because the track was dry. It was just, every time we would get back going, lightning, get your asses out of the car.
Yep, and then we have another lightning delay on lap 32, and we had to wait another about 40 minutes to get back to racing. So when we got back to racing, we had Denny Hamlin winning stage 1. And then, guys, Joey Logano, he was just kind of in the way yesterday, making it difficult for Chase. Logano was lapped down, just trying to rattle the 9's cage right there. Just Joey being Joey, just making as many fans as possible.
Yeah. Well, I get why people are pissed off about that, but then I could see why he was doing it. I mean, it's not like we can't forget about what happened at Bristol. So I kind of saw that coming, honestly. But yeah, that's how Joey races people. It doesn't have to be a problem with anybody. That's just how I race you. But in that case with Chase, I can kind of see why he did it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree there. Watching it back, I was pretty frustrated at the time because we've seen him multiple times be a lapper. What was it? It was a race last year. I can't remember exactly where it was. I want to say it was a shorter track where he had mechanical issues. He was like 27 laps down or something and was holding Denny Hamlin up for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not out of the character of Joey Logano to drive like a complete hat. So,
hey, watch your language, man.
But, like you said, Nick, you really saw this one coming. I feel like Chase was definitely owed one from just sending her in there on him a couple weekends ago. It didn't work out for Chase, and you had to know you're going to have some repercussions along the way. So the way I look at it, that's the worst you get out of this. Hey, move on. You still had a pretty good finish at the end of the day. He didn't take you out of the race. So
yeah.
Exactly. He still had a good finish. And, we had Denny Hamlin. He went on to win stage 2, so he swept the stages for the Dixie Vodka 400. And we had a caution for Joey Logano, and Ryan Newman racing hard. Joey almost got spun. We had some damage for Rocket Man on the front of his car. So it's just hard racing with probably the hardest racers on the track. You got Newman and Logano. Those guys ain't going to give an inch.
Elliott still had a chance to win that race yesterday. Like, he was really right on Hamlin's tail. It's just that little thud on the wall, like with just a few laps ago, that really hurt him. So it wasn't like the end of it for Chase when, Logano cut him off. He still had some opportunities to win it. He had the lead too. And then, like you said, Ian, that's racing, but he finished in second in the top 5. So I'll take it.
Yep. Hey, Patrick, you are getting ahead of us, buddy.
My apologies.
No, you're fine. And we get Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick all racing hard to try and take the lead from Denny Hamlin. But Denny Hamlin, he just had the fastest car all night, and we had and we got 30 to go, and we had Joey Logano blocking Elliott from passing Hamlin. And that gave Hamlin the lead to take the win. And we had Denny Hamlin winning his 3rd race of the season for the Dixie Vodka 400. And we had Tyler Reddick, the rookie, finishing 4th. Probably one of the best performances I've seen in an RCR car in a long time, guys. Well, this guy is the future.
That rookie made a rookie mistake yesterday, though, because he thought the race was over.
Yeah, he pulled him. He pulled a Mark Martin.
He was getting ready to shut the car down. He was like, "Good run, boys." They're like, "Tyler, go. There's no one to go."
That was hilarious.
Oh, man. Almost threw away a career performance.
Like, if he shut that thing off and then
just roll down pit road like Mark Martin did back in the day.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah. No, just an absolute dominating performance from Denny Hamlin. I think you saw in a race like this why guys who perpetually and habitually win always win, and guys that get close but don't win don't. I'll give an example real fast. My guy Ryan Blaney, he had one of, if not the fastest car on the track for a lot of the race. But every time he would get close to the leader, he would overdrive a little bit, make a mistake, and lose time. That's invaluable. Time is hard to make up. I look back to stage 1 when he was the leader and was way out front. Denny churned laps, chipped away, finally got to Ryan Blaney. And what did he do? Did he over race it? Did he overdrive his car? Did he force something to happen? No, he let it come to him. He waited for Blaney to slip up. He waited for his opportunity, and he drove away. I think that's, in my opinion, where some of these younger guys are still lacking just a little bit. Not saying that they can't get there. I think Ryan Blaney is going to be one of the best drivers in NASCAR in the future, and I think he's a future champion. I'm a huge fan of the guy, obviously, but I think, this was a pretty good kind of showing as to why he's not quite at that level yet. Just still a few little things to polish up in the finish category.
Right. All right, guys. So I think that will do it for our race review. Do you guys have anything else to add before we end the show?
I do. I have one thing to say. Of course, that Denny Hamlin can win at Homestead when it's not for the championship.
Hey, hey, Corey LaJoy brought that up. He said, watch Denny Hamlin win because he's not running for a championship. So, it happened.
A championship that he barely got into last year, too. He was like the last one to qualify.
Hey, man.
Yeah, barely scathed in with winning that Phoenix race, but hey, that happens. But yeah, Corey LaJoy was right. Chokes in the championship race, but he does all right in the normal race.
Yep.
Denny won in 2013 when he wasn't in the playoffs, or he was already like far out of the playoffs, and then he wins today. He won yesterday because it's not a championship race. Because if that was a championship race, he would have like blown a tire with 20 to go or something like that, or had easily.
Yeah.
That's just Denny Hamlin at Homestead.
But I'm just loving this Corey LaJoy Denny Hamlin feud. It's just gonna get better and better.
I think so. Now, God forbid, let Corey outrun him at Talladega next weekend, and we're going to see some shots fired in social media.
Oh.
But I'll say this, though, too, really quickly. For a race that was more or less, if you look at the stat sheet, dominated by the 11 car, I thought it was a thoroughly entertaining race throughout the field. Homestead proves once again why it's one of the best mile-and-a-halfers we have on the schedule, with that high line being so prevalent, but the low line still being competitive. You got to see a bunch of slide job passes, guys running the wall, guys running the middle. A lot of different lanes were working, different parts of the race, different lines were faster. Absolutely phenomenal racing throughout the field. I don't know. I saw a lot of people kind of talking about the race was kind of boring. I don't know what more you want. Just because one guy led a lot of the laps and had a really good performance doesn't mean, in my opinion, it was a boring race. I was pretty entertained.
Those same people that say that the
boring
races are boring they're the same people every week that say every race is boring. That was a great race. I think Homestead and Chicagoland proved they're the top intermediate tracks because both of those racetracks have 3 racing grooves that you can make up time on each one of those lines, the low, the middle, or the high. So yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal race.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, Homestead always puts on a fantastic show, that's for sure. All right, guys. So for the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Patrick Codo.
All right. And guys, make sure to follow our good buddy Patrick Codo on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow him with the Codos Mojo on all podcast platforms. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well with the Stock Car Spectacle and our personal accounts as well. And make sure to follow our friends at Ashland Hens Racing. So guys, that'll do it for our show. Make sure to watch our future episodes of the Kinzel's Classroom and our Talladega preview, and of course, the Gambler's Picks. So guys, thanks for watching.